I don't think there's anything particularly special about, so-called awakening. I mean, it's really just getting to know yourself, right? I think that's what we're talking about when we say awakening. And that's available to absolutely everyone, anyone willing to persevere in the endeavor. You don't need an invitation, permission. You're not chosen. You just simply choose to do it. But the reason not everybody does it is because it's not easy. I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy. I mean, a lot of it is very uncomfortable, going through, digging out all those things that you're embarrassed, ashamed, or terrified to admit, especially at first. But we're willing to sit in it and endure the discomfort for a time. And as we realize the exposure didn't kill us, but that it did liberate us from the fear that it might, I think we start to become comfortable with that part of ourselves. That's just how it works. In my experience, it's not a one-time thing, though. It's layer upon layer that you peel back one at a time as you're ready to look deeper and deeper at yourself. But if you want it badly enough, you're going to dig every last thing out that you need to understand, and compassionate, and embrace about yourself. And I really think that's the whole ballgame. And then you just go play in the world, and people are not your enemy. When you're not blaming the world for your problems, which in truth is always just how you felt about yourself, right? Then you don't hate it either. Along the way, I think it's normal to go through a period where you feel resentful as you're working these things out, to the world out there. And you tell yourself that people that aren't doing this sort of process, they'll never get it and they don't understand. And, you have that intruder's mentality, right? Of people. And it all goes hand in hand with the conspiratorial thinking with that's a lot of time involved in this sort of thing, because it is part of that process. Those part of knowing yourself is going to go through all these fears and things, and so it's going to be all your feelings toward the world, right? So again, that's normal. I certainly went through it too. But at least for me, I think I always had this default state of sharing joy, because even as a child, from early age, I think I recognized, just the power of that energy. It's like when someone just unexpectedly brightens your day by pointing their unfettered joy at you, and you've experienced the same in regard, and your joy hits somebody else, and you see their reaction, like you see the energy of it, you know what I mean? And like a few weeks ago, I was walking through the Walmart, and a baby, maybe 1 or 2 or something like that, in the shopping cart. Mom was looking at whatever, but this baby was just looking at me as I walked by, just the biggest smile, just, hey, this, and you can't help it, like, hey. And as I walked toward the checkout, I've just got this on my face, and this woman walks by, and as she sees me, she's kind of surprised, taken a little back, but then, she smiles, but it's because it's one of those smiles, not one of those where you see someone and pleasantly, hey, how you doing? No, it was something this baby, but me, and I was just a carrier for it, and that's how that energy works, So, so through it all, I've always tried to at least keep that part of it simple for myself, for kind of like as how to carry my day to day through all, everything else you're feeling is to try and at least keep that as the baseline. If you know what I'm saying, if I can not let my resentment about the perceived predicaments of the world or the people out there doing it, you know what I'm saying, to not let that override that, you know what I mean? And that was just always what I tried to kind of get back to. So, I remember a YouTuber a couple of years ago in the Truth movement, and he was going off the deep end with his audience, like, the sky is falling, whole nine, and started unraveling that someone would dare suggest in his comments that it's as simple as just smiling at people. And apparently I think he went on a walk, from what I heard. But, that's what carried me through. This whole time, when in the hardest times of all of these existential fears and things like that, it's like I tried to just recenter it in that and So, you know, because I mean, you could also see it's not rocket science to see how this works. Your sour mood is reflected back to you as well, reinforcing what you know, your resentment about the world. So, but I do think on the other side of this process, you know, I mean, once you can love those parts of yourself and you aren't blaming the world, lamenting how you've been its victim, you know, once you know it was never their fault, you no longer even care, I don't think, whether people understand or what they believe. It just becomes about the energy, you know. So now when I'm going about my day, it's just more of the same of that aspect of once I get in the crap out of the way. So it's like I love being with people, you know what I mean? I I don't mind some small talk, and you know, it's more about can we share a smile? And I'm not beholden to anyone, you know. I control my attention. So it's just more like dancing, you know. So yeah, you know, make peace with and love yourself fully, and you probably won't hate the world anymore. And you'll probably start setting the tone in your own life. Go figure.